Oh, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, October 12th, 2 hours and 56 minutes before I turn 29 years old and therefore probably end up 6 feet in the ground. It's another podcast day, and we've got a heck of a show lined up for you as always. Of course, I would never tell you if we didn't have a heck of a show lined up for you, so take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Today, speaking of a grain of salt, Panic is in the midst of trying not to commit Sudoku over the hell of a week that poor bastard has had in just about every area of his life. I mean, shy of getting hit by a bus, that poor bastard has just about had the ringer. And so, I think this is the right screen. Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's just you and me tonight?
It's just me and you tonight. He literally, his computer isn't even hooked up right now.
Okay.
So what happened was, of the stuff that I can tell everyone specifically, is that Mr. Panic is not here with us tonight because at the very least, like I said, his computer's not hooked up because he had ordered a desk from, I think it's called, let me just see, Home Studio Desk.
A fancy desk.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, Home Studio Desks is the name of this company. Anyway, Panic took it a step further. I'm going in one direction with my audio, and that's less. Panic is going in the other direction with his audio, and that's home studio. And so but he also does a lot of stuff, just like at his work at home with like 16 monitors. I've never seen somebody multitask like Panic in all my life. So he needs like some sort of crazy desk, and he's had one that's done a reasonable job, but he wanted it all to be way cleaner and tidier. Jeff had several small strokes seeing some of the pictures.
His computer,
pictures of this.
Since I've known him, it's been like that for years. I don't know.
Yeah.
First time I went to New York and I met him, dude, his desk was like, I thought I keep my room relatively tidy, but when I was lazy and I didn't give a shit, he is that times 10 when it comes to his computer desk.
Oh.
The rest of his house was fine. It was his workspace was just, it gives me anxiety every time I see it.
Oh yeah, it was rough, to say the least, and it got particularly rough because he knew this desk was coming. Like, this new desk was coming in, and if you see them, they are really nice looking desks. Like, they're pretty spectacular looking desks. And this would house all of his audio, his 2 computers, his 47 monitors, you know, all this stuff that he had all in one go. It's taken now 4 different shipments. So the first time they sent him out the stuff, or was supposed to be the stuff, first of all, it came in 2 massive freaking crates that you could have built a second desk with the freaking plywood that was the boxes that came in. I'm not even joking. Like, if you look at his Twitter, there's actually about, I would say 8 sheets of what could be friggin' 7-foot long plywood. It's crazy.
You're basically saying we would salivate if we were kids and we could use that for a camp.
We could have built an entire camp.
Oh, wow.
That's a third story.
That's a lot of wood.
So he gets it. He's all excited, right? Gets in, opens it up, you know, takes all this stuff. He's in an apartment, so how annoying is it to strip all that shit and carry that all the way downstairs? They didn't deliver the top of the desk.
Rip. Get fucked.
So the whole desk, except for the top of the desk, was delivered. So they try it again, they fuck up again. They forget like a bracket or some shit this time. Then so they send that out in the 3rd week, and then and then they still forget something. At that point, but at that point it had been 3 weeks and 3 different shipments, and he was like, "Well, they can't possibly fuck this up again." And they did. So he had already dismantled, because, you know, he works and he does a lot of stuff. So, you know, like a normal human being, you have to kind of just pick away at shit. So he had slowly dismantled this mess of a desk with all of his computers and everything to prepare for the new desk. Now that it's like an entire month of just nonstop shipments, they fuck up the next shipment because they didn't label it properly and it got hung up at customs. So he's just sitting in his apartment right now. Everything just fucking wrecked. Just torn apart and everything, and that's the stuff I can tell you that happened this week. There's lots of stuff that added to this, but despite that, he just flat out doesn't have anything to actually be on this podcast with today. So it is just Mr. Black and myself, Mr. MaximusBlack.
I'm here.
Hit me up with the sound of having a package delayed at customs for like 3 straight weeks.
Really? Or fuck! Fuck me! And you're gonna charge me $120 too. You're gonna charge me $120 fucking dollars too. And you're late. Pass me the KY.
You don't get KY, they're going in dry.
Not even a courtesy spit.
He even asked for a refund. They were like, "Get fucked. We're not giving you shit for this."
I'd have been like, "See ya."
Yeah.
Take your shit back.
Unfortunately for him, you know what my great purchase was this week? This is my intro, Jeff. Okay. I wanted to buy this before it was probably removed from shelves everywhere. I wanted to have it in my possession and show my grandchildren what a time it was to be alive in 2017. I have.
Oh.
The beautiful poetry of Donald Trump.
Yo, can you give us a line or two from Donald Trump's poetry? Just give us a line or two, man.
Okay.
Just give us a line or two.
Okay.
Just open to a random page, man. Just open to a random one and lay it on me.
This is by Rob Sears, who has done other stuff like this in the past. First of all, pay close attention to the size of his hands on this cover.
Oh my god. This is straight troll. This is actually straight. This is straight. Donald is gonna try and sue this guy.
So I think this guy's a Brit. I think he's the UK. And of course it says strictly unauthorized at the bottom for obvious reasons. So basically what this is he has endless quotes from interviews, rallies, from all manner of years and times, right? And he's strung them together to create like haikus and various other poems using it. And then he has an annotation for every single quote that's in this book, so you know every single quote, where to find it if you want to make sure that these fucked up retard statements came out of somebody's mouth. All right, so I'm just going to
I feel like every podcast should start off with a reading from this book.
Okay, I just opened this up randomly. Page 33, President Putin, a haiku. Is a strong leader. Said Trump is a genius. Highly respected. Here's there was one in here about like the classics are in here, like the pussy grabbing and all that stuff. It's all in here. It's here we go. Page 17. I am the most fabulous whiner, is the name of this.
Oh.
I own the largest winery on the East Coast. I do wine. We make the finest wine because I want to win. And I'm not happy about not winning. And I am a whiner. Many different kind of wines. And I'm a whiner. And I keep whining and whining until I win. And I'm going to win. Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go.
Wow.
I needed to own that book. Hardcover.
Wow. That's going to be a New York Times bestseller right there.
Absolutely. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, it's one of the greatest things I've ever bought in my life. Just for the cover.
The only thing,
it's so majestic, and the small hand is just so perfect.
The small hand is win. The only thing, there's only 2 books in the history of books that could beat that poetry from Donald Trump.
The Bible?
No. Nope. Jaden Smith.
Oh.
Some poetry from Jaden Smith. And
Jaden Smith's Twitter.
And some poetry from Kanye. Those would just be so crazy.
Bro, how long is it before Ye and Jaden get together and fucking do a track?
It'll probably be fire. And I'll probably hate myself for liking it, but it'll probably be fire.
I know! It'll probably be fucking sick!
It'll probably be fire as fuck.
Dude, speaking of Kanye, I saw this interview with Jay-Z because apparently Kanye brought up Jay-Z's, like, daughter or some shit.
Uh-oh.
And, like, in front of an audience. You know, Kanye has this thing about basically going on incoherent rants for like an hour at his concerts. And people, like, every time you watch them, the crowd, you know, bounces between clapping their hands because they love it and then saying, wait a minute, we actually came here to listen to you fucking do music. Why are we listening to you drunkenly rant on stream, on stage right now? So he went on another one of these. And he was bringing up Beyonce and the kids and Jay-Z and please don't send your killers after me. I know you got them. Let's be like, and it's this like 14, 15 minute long fucking rant. He's tapped. He's fucking.
Hey, he's gone, bro.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's in another universe. He lives in a totally different fucking universe than everyone else.
He is out of there, man. He just doesn't even think. Like, I actually think he's got like mental issues. Like there's
100%.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's like giving somebody that is just fucked up a lot of money and fame and power and just giving him a platform to do and say whatever the fuck he wants. And the crazy thing about it is he says and does whatever the fuck he wants. So sometimes it's gold, and then other times you just face palm. And the vast majority of the time you just face palm.
For those asking, one more time, I'll say it for you. The book is The Beautiful Poetry of Donald Trump by Rob Sears. And once again, it is strictly unauthorized.
It's a great purchase.
Dude, best $14.99 I've ever spent. Unbelievably value. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, this is a video game podcast, and we also talk about movies and TV, so maybe we should actually talk about those things at some point. Last week was a super thin week, so we did our top 10 movies. That was fun. This week was also relatively thin, but there's a couple things that we can definitely talk about, and they've got some meat if we really want to get into it. The first one is definitely an easy one to talk about, and I think everyone has an opinion about this topic, and that is loot crates in general. I'm just going to update the thing here. So, I mean, loot crates have been getting crammed into every game kind of over time. It's just increased in how many games. Now I don't think that you can make a game legally without having loot crates in it. It's just like a de facto thing. And in the last week or so, the release schedule for major games, we got Battlefront 2, we got Forza 7, we got Shadow of War. All three of those are basically AAA titles.
What's Shadow of War?
That's the follow-up to Shadow of Mordor or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, all three of these games, to varying degrees, upon launch, had a whole bunch of had a whole bunch of backlash based on their loot boxes. Shadow of War is probably the weakest of these three, and honestly, I could probably ignore it. Forza would be in the second place of some fuckery. Battlefront 2 is just flat out heinous. And they're kind of only sort of getting away with it because it was in beta, but I'll get into my opinion on this in a second. So we'll start with Battlefront 2. We'll work backwards and forwards. Shadow of War, you could unlock, I think the way it was like your orc heroes or whatever that you're using in the campaign or whatever. You can get through loot boxes and whatnot. And some people thought, obviously, that was not the appropriate place to put that kind of content. Forza 7 had cars that you could only get through loot boxes. You couldn't, like, buy them. Some of them also, they raised the prices of the cars so that it incentivized you to buy them because it was taking you longer in game to get the currency to buy the cars. Forza 7 also had some other fuckery that they actually backpedaled on this week. They came out with like a formal address to the fans and reworked everything because they were fucking up the VIP club and everything else. Battlefront 2, and I guess they've modified or come out and modified this as well a little bit just today or yesterday after the beta. Battlefront 2 was putting honest to goodness flat out like perks, like the card system in this game that you choose to put on your character that gives you certain whatever abilities, passives, whatever it is, right? And you have the ability to apply more of these cards to your character the higher the level your character is, to a certain, cap of how many. A lot of the best, when it first came into beta, a lot of like the best stuff and everything, all available in these loot boxes, which you could pay for with real money. And so, obviously, what was happening, or what was going to happen, is that people that don't want to spend the time to grind loot boxes to get these cards to use in their multiplayer, they just go and they buy a shitload of loot boxes. And then once they've leveled up some, they can just cram full all of their, slots with all of this high-powered shit, and they are stomping the fuck out of everyone else who isn't doing that, who's just playing the game normally. And I saw a comment on one of these threads on GameSpot, and somebody was describing, after having played the beta, roughly how long it would take to get just a crate to even have
Probably
a chance. And it was fucking, dude, the numbers were crazy. Just like he did some rough math to try and give you an idea of how long it would take versus just buying X number of crates. And it was insane. Yeah. It was so insane that if I had it, even I would be like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy some damn crates because there's no way I'm ever going to get this far. Yeah. And so I wanted to just talk about that. I want to see what your feelings on loot crates in general are, because you and I both as streamers play a lot of games that have crates. Not that it, like I said in the beginning of this, not that it's hard to play a game these days that has crates in them. But what your feelings are with loot crates and where you think the line should be drawn, especially because a lot of these loot crates are in competitive games, which I think is probably the biggest problem.
Yeah, for me, it's just I don't think there's anything wrong with loot crates. It's a cheeky way for gaming companies to basically charge $60 or even less. Sometimes it's free to play, whatever. And I feel like they almost assume that's like part of their success, and rightfully so. But they crutch too much on the loot crates, where they make the game, it's, the game is fine, and then they go, okay, well, how can we optimize people to buy these crates? We have to give them an incentive to want to buy these crates. And that's when they start locking the best things behind crates, and they'll even make it so that the drop rates for those best things are long as well. So if you're spending $30 for, say, 50 crates, you might only get maybe 2 really legendary items out of 30 crates. The rest of it is just bullshit filler that you can disenchant or break down, or however they want to spin it, recycle, reuse,
Hey,
reduce.
you can use these to buy more crates over time.
That's what it is. And then, you start to get fragments of things, and then next thing, it's a matter of just piecing together to get crates or card packs or whatever the case. And it's genius, but if you're playing a competitive game, I understand card games. Card games, you have to buy packs. It's no different than in real life. If you or I collect Pokemon cards or Magic cards, you can't just play with.
Well, I mean, you have to
I
guess in real life you can buy single cards, though. I guess in reality.
In reality, you could.
Yeah.
You could go to a specialty store or something and buy cards, or go on eBay and buy specific cards.
But it certainly makes more sense in the card game environment for sure.
Yes. So I understand that in terms of being able to pull things to have the one-up on your opponent, because it is an RNG thing. Not only the RNG of shuffling your deck and drawing cards, but also of actually buying packs and getting cards for your deck, which in real life, very, very expensive. I mean, I've spent probably thousands of dollars in different cards over the years just from trying to pull a Charizard or a Blastoise or something when a Charizard was only worth like $34. You go and spend $150 in packs to try and pull a $34 card, and they know that it's not only just getting the card, it's the feeling of pulling stuff. It's the feeling of unknown. It's essentially putting out a lottery for young people to play. It is gambling in every sense of the word.
Machine.
It's a slot machine. It's just packaged differently. I mean, if they took the same thing and they literally turned it into a slot machine and you had to pull a lever, it would do the exact same thing. It's packaged in a way that it seems appropriate for people to do it. It just makes absolutely no sense, but it is what it is. I do not have a problem with loot crates or packs or whatever. Where I start to have a problem is when you can start pulling shit for multiplayer and your character has the one up on people that cannot afford to pay more for cards, when it is well known that the company is specifically cooking the books to make it so that you're forced to buy these cards. They know damn well that 99% of the people do not want to play 1,200 hours to pull 10 packs or open 10 crates. So they know that if they make it cheap enough, $2, $5 for so many, they're eventually going to pull the trigger on one of those in some way, shape, or form. So for card games, I'm okay with it because it is kind of like reality. But in video games, it's getting ridiculous. If it's just skins and people like in PUBG or something, or you win a chicken dinner or whatever the case may be, and it's just skins, it's cosmetic look, then I don't have a problem with that at all. Then charge whatever you want for the damn crates, and if people want to spend the money and get enjoyment of pulling the unknown and potentially getting something nice and celebrating about it and having your endorphins go off and fucking it's all wonderful and great. It's a little tiny high, because that's exactly what it is. When you're pulling cards, it's a high, right? You're triggering a certain part of your brain that is like a reward system, and if you are not opening up packs, then it's just not as fun. It's almost like you open up so many crates and then you just play the game, and next thing you know, you're realizing you're just not having that much fun. You're like, I need something new. I need, it's that's just.
Then you go from like, you get one legendary and you're like, and you lose your mind. And then like, funnily enough, it's like the next, it's like the gateway drug, right? It's like the shitty, like, the thing your parents told you about weed. But now you need 2 legendaries in one box to really get excited. You get 1 legendary now, and it's kind of like you get a little excited, but it's not like you get jacked about it. And then you need more and more and more and more.
To the point where you just
need
don't care, and you're just spamming through it. Like when you first start, you open a pack and you're hovering over it, and you're like, "Ooh, what color is this? What am I gonna get?" And then you're reading the card, or you're looking at the details and all the specs, and then it gets to the point where you're just spam clicking. You're just and you're just looking for the best thing. And if you just skip right through, you don't even care anymore. You just look at it. That's all it is. And they got you.
I mean, in CS:GO crates, it even like resembles a slot machine. You know, the things like fucking rolling through and shit. Like they get right up to the edge of it, and then they stop, and they're like, because we go any further,
well, we could get in trouble.
It's gonna be too much. Now kids are gambling and shit, and it's just, you know, we can't.
Kids are gambling. They're gambling. Period. I mean, it doesn't matter how they package it. It's exactly what it is, and they're using it against people that don't understand what they're actually doing. And I understand what they're doing, and that's why I typically don't buy shit. I just don't. I don't really support DLC. It's very rare that I buy any DLC for any game, and I most certainly don't buy packs and shit like that. I did at the beginning of Hearthstone because I'm a streamer, and it was just cool to open up 100 packs and get a bunch of viewers. But beyond that, you would never see me buy things on the side unless I really, really enjoyed the game. Like, if I was all about it, like, say I was playing World of Warcraft and it was my life, and I wanted to buy a pet, or I wanted to buy something because it's going to enhance the amount of time I'm in there, sure, by all means. But I'm not going to sit there and open up a bunch of fucking crates to look for items. I'm just not.
Here's my problem with at the very least Battlefront 2 and Forza 7 out of the three that we mentioned here. My biggest problem here is Forza didn't change anything until it was released, and then people lost their minds over it, and then they backpedaled a bit on it and kind of sorted it out. It's still not perfect, but it's better than where it was. Battlefront 2, and I've seen people say this before also, is it's okay, you know, it was in beta. They're seeing what happens, etc., etc. They're not seeing what happens, in terms of necessarily just the gameplay. They're not necessarily only interested in, is our game going to blow up in terms of balance and everything else? Is the game going to, you know, crash out? Do we have technical issues? Whatever, which is generally speaking what a beta is supposed to be for. This was also used now to see how far they could extort, you know, the player base for more money with these loot crates. How far can we push the loot crates before people, you know, kick back? And they found the limit, and now they're sort of reeling it back just enough to that next mark to where will the market bear it? Where will the people bear it so that we can get as much money out of these loot crates as humanly possible? Where will people just say, you know what? This is close enough. I'm too tired to be arguing about this all the time. Whatever, just let it go. I'll buy the damn crates. That's what they're doing with the shit, and it pisses me off because, you know, I just don't get it. In a free-to-play game, I could almost give this a pass, but you're talking about games that you're spending $80 on now, basically, and then they do this shit. And you're sitting there, and then then everyone's, or not everyone, but then people will say, well, you know, gaming is so expensive in development now, and it's the, you know, we got to be able to have long tail fucking revenue because they keep putting out new maps and DLC and shit. Well, unless the DLC is free, they're still getting more money from you anyway, because this is how it's going to work in Battlefront, right? I mean, you're going to have season passes. So you're going to buy the game for $80. Then you're going to have season pass $30 or $40. There could be two different season passes based on the year.
Adam,
so the first year, $30.
You're going to spend $200 on the game. That's
what
you're going to spend.
First year, another $30. Second year, another $30. And that's for the DLC. That's for the extra maps and everything else, which usually ends up splitting up the player base on online, because not everybody has those maps, because not everyone's going to spend the money on it. And then on top of that, they do the loot crate shit where they cheese you and put you the stuff in where you either have to spend 120 plus hours to get half the shit that somebody that just dropped another $60 on crates to achieve the same thing, just so that you feel like you're part of it. It's fucking crazy. And it's unfortunate because it's one of those things where the market does bear it. There's enough people that will bear it in the millions,
of course, that it's still
that
profitable.
they can still do it. And it gets worse and worse and worse. I mean, we're talking about people doing loot crate drops and doing unlockable things, and Nintendo with the amiibo with the Samus, the new Samus game, the new Metroid game, Where back in the day, that was just a fucking cheat code, bro. You just have a code and you're like, oh, you want ultra hard mode? Here you go,
Well,
done. Oh, you want to unlock, maximum stats for your character in NHL?
Yep.
98. Here's a code. Now it's, oh, you want all these stats? Pay me $5-10 for this character, and I'll give you all of the shit. You're maxed out. Go nuts. Buy all the points you want. Just fucking max your character out so it's Wayne Gretzky on fucking steroids. That's
what I've been crying about for a long time, dude. I've had heated arguments with many people over DLC, and some people will stand up for it and be like, listen, man, it's my money. I like the game. I think that there's value in it. And hey, I'm not arguing about that. You want to pay it. But the problem is when DLC finally became a thing, and then AAA companies started to realize that the profits, and all these people started buying in, and they realized that they could do less for more, essentially. They could make a game and then charge for part of it on the side, or make you feel like you're missing part of the story if you don't buy this and that. And you know what? People went out and bought the shit. And here we are today. It's just progressively getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, you're even seeing it. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be in episodes. You're going to be paying all this. There'll probably be some kind of fucking DLC for those. They'll be... Listen, they're not stupid. These companies, what they do, can go ahead and say, oh, the games are expensive, all they want. I don't give a shit. I'm not buying it. But apparently there are millions of people that are. So, I mean...
Well, yeah, that's just it, right?
Go for it.
So apparently Battlefront 2 is not going to have paid DLC. So, great. It still, unfortunately, doesn't change the fact that they have basically a pay-to-win model with crates. But nevertheless, if it's not Battlefront doing it, other games are going to do it.
Of course,
it's the same thing.
Of course,
other games will definitely do exactly that. Season passes, people screamed about forever. Eventually, it got to the point where people stopped screaming.
What kind of cunt came up with season passes anyway? Like, is this like who started that shit? Was like Call of Duty or some shit? I don't know, but
probably
season passes. Like, come on, man. What is this? A fucking a ski resort? Is like, this is just ridiculous, man. If you want to listen, you can come on my ski hill, but that diamond trail, that's only for season passers.
Yep.
You can enjoy the bunny hill. You can enjoy the little intermediate hill. But if you want to go where the thrills are, you got to get the season pass for that low price, a half of whatever you paid for the original product. Get fucked.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. It's really, really,
and you
really
want to know
bad.
what's funny? Here's the funny part about it is, and then we'll move on. Funny part about it is, if they would have packaged the game, so say whether it's Battlefront 2, Call of Duty, Shadows of Mort, I don't know what it's called, any of these games, all of these, Forza, all of them. If they were to just flat out come out and say, hey guys, our game's going to be $149.99, their sales would plummet. People would be like, are you smoking fucking crack?
Oh yeah,
but then they'll buy the game.
How is any game worth that much?
Then they'll buy the game, and then they'll spend up to that $149.99 or more, and they won't think anything of it. They won't question it. They won't go, wait a second. They just got me. Dude, it gets so bad that the day you buy the game, there's shit to buy, to download, to the same fucking day it's released. It's ludicrous. It's like, dude, you did not pay $80 for this game. You just paid $120. But if the game came out for $120, a big chunk, I mean, there'll still be fanboys that'll go out and spend the money.
Sure.
But a big chunk will be like, are you fucking insane? I'm not spending that much. Oh, yeah, you are. We're just going to charge you this much for now, and we're going to get you later. Bullshit.
My favorite is the digital deluxe edition, where you get like the soundtrack and it increases the cost of the game. No, like the soundtrack, a skin for your character, and like a code for a $5 piece of DLC, and you spend $50 extra on it. And you're just fucking, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, it's bad. Don't buy Battlefront 2 unless you just absolutely hate yourself and your bank account. Forza 7 got better, but I'm not buying it until they add hot laps, When's the last time you heard of a racing game not having hot laps in it?
Never.
Exactly. It's fucking nuts. How in the hell a Forza of all racing games removes hot laps?
Oh, Adam, it's coming in the form of DLC.
Oh man, they'd get fucking crucified if they did that. It would be brutal. The SNES Classic. That sold relatively well.
Yeah.
And in very short order, somebody figured it out and cracked that bad boy.
Yep.
And now you can add games to it. And they show up in the menu and they play exactly like the other games on the SNES Classic.
Yep.
And thanks to Nintendo, bless you Nintendo, the onboard memory is like 80 megabytes and they're only using like, 320 megabytes, sorry, and they're only using like 80. So you have loads of room to add all manner of games. And they've only found a small handful that required, special hardware-related stuff to run originally. Pretty much every game works. And it works really well. So that's a thing. Of course, like anything, just like they did this with the NES Classic as well, you run the risk of bricking your system, but you can back up your system before you start, fiddling with it. It's not really that hard. And you can get a lot more. More specifically, and one of the best reasons I'll say for doing this is that you can actually get it and add a button macro for going back to the game selection screen, which Nintendo somehow figured was, something that they wanted to get you up to walk over to the console to reset the console to make happen, which is crazy to me. But anyway, you can do it now.
That's good.
So yeah, I saw the whole process on how to do it right now. Obviously, it will get easier with time because they, sort out more like almost like a automated process really by the time they get it sorted out. But you can do it manually, and manually it doesn't even look all that hard. It's just tedious to do it for every single game, and yeah,
cool.
It's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Get more out of your purchase now.
Yeah.
Add a whole ton of games. Of course, do it legally.
No, don't. Just burn them all on there.
Do it legally, Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and all that. But yeah, that's totally a thing, which is great because there are some games that definitely should have been on there, or a lot of people would have thought would have been on there that weren't. Like Chrono Trigger.
Well, the reason why they don't have that on there is because they're still selling it, and it's still selling, right? So if they put it somewhere else, it's gonna deter sales from
cannibalize.
other. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. So certain titles just is no go.
Yeah, it just didn't get on there. Hey, we'd like to talk about this frequently, but we're probably going to be for a while. I should have put both of the names of the games there. So both PUBG and Fortnite hit new milestones this week. PUBG just keeps on collecting players like they're collecting Pokemon cards, and they've managed to hit 2 million concurrent players, which is baffling to me for a number of reasons. One, the game is broken as shit, and two, they've really pissed off probably what will be the largest player base for their game, and that's China. But yeah, they managed to hit 2 million. I remember when everybody was freaking out when it crested like 750K. That was only like 3 weeks ago. And now we're at 2 million. At the same time, Fortnite had a really good, and this isn't the whole game, because the whole game, obviously, numbers are different, but for the Battle Royale segment, the free-to-play segment of it, they've hit 3.7 million total players. I think this was yesterday or the day before. And they peaked out at 525,000 concurrent, which is also pretty spectacular. Yep. So I think this says that Battle Royale may or may not be in high demand as a genre.
Yeah.
It's just a bit.
Yep.
So the question, I guess, is how much longer before we get a third in the arena, and who do you think is going to do it? Because there's always two big guys, and then somebody tries to be the third wheel. So like in the first person shooter realm right now, you've got like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and then
Overwatch.
they've had a couple of other games, trying. Well, I mean, I'd say like Overwatch is more of its own thing, but like a Titanfall tried to make it happen. They couldn't quite pull it off. But yeah, so who do you think if there was a company that was going to come up and do this, and you know there's going to be more than what exists right now, who do you think is going to do it?
I don't know, man. I think it would.
Is it going to be one of those things where like a company takes it and just basically an already existing intellectual property and just says to hell with it, we're going to make a battle royale mod?
I think the only one that would be a player and that would compete, and probably overthrow Fortnite would be Rockstar. If they came out with one for Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto, and they did a battle royale type thing, they made it work that way. I think that would be probably the only major player, mainly because they're going to sell millions and millions of copies of their games anyway. And just to throw that on there and make it official, like make an actual battle royale, call it, GTA battle royale or whatever, and it would be like in a city instead of wherever, which would be kind of cool too. And could make your own custom character and things like that. I think that would be a player, and that would do really well. As for another one, I don't know. I think maybe we're gonna see another smaller company come up and try and do something special, because a lot of these bigger companies are just not taking the chances. They're just not. They're sticking to what they know, and it's tough for, say, Blizzard, for example, to make a game like that. Not that it would be tough for them to make it, but to commit to it when they already have so many IPs and they don't want to take away from where they're already going, because that pool of people are only so big. You're only going to get so much splash over from other communities coming in to play your game, and they can't deter you too much from their precious Overwatch or their money printing Hearthstone or their other money printing World of Warcraft. So I think if it's anybody, it's going to be Rockstar.
Yeah, I mean they kind of have. Didn't Rockstar kind of have a mod for GTA 5 that's battle royale-ish? I think they did that not long ago.
Yeah, but I mean it's one thing to have a mod where you're going around, you're fighting each other and things, but to actually make a battle royale and to call it a BR, two totally different things.
I think that well, I would agree with you in terms of viability that Rockstar makes the most sense because of their games. I think the one that wouldn't happen because they're unlikely to want to go in and risk just being called out for hopping on the hype train. I think Battlefield makes it really good. It makes a lot of sense to me. I think instead of having a wall of mist work in, I think you just the air raids and stuff coming in, and it's just bombs dropping, and it's just a death zone. It's no man's land. The no man's land gets bigger and bigger, and the map gets smaller and smaller. I think that it makes sense also because they already have large scale battles in place. You're just making it slightly different in terms of the rules of combat. So, and they've already experimented now with a little bit of active, map elements. Like I remember watching, and I'm sure you probably remember seeing some of it too. Maybe not, but for the latest Battlefield, where they have like the Zeppelin can be, comes in and then crashes and changes the map in terms of how everything plays out on the map. So they've already got their toes wet with dynamic maps, we'll call them. And so I think it would be kind of neat to have that. And Battlefield is also known with certain installments, like my opinion, the best version of Battlefield, Bad Company, where they had destructible environments. Yeah. Remember how fire the destructible environments in the Bad Company games were?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I could see it. So I mean, yeah, I'm with you on that. I could see it too. The only thing that I fear with something like that is it may feel too much like a first-person shooter. It may just feel too Battlefield-y, and it might just feel like a a Battlefield mod, so to speak, where it doesn't feel like its own thing. It just feels like, you know, there's some toxic gas coming and everyone's kind of getting closer and closer, but everybody's playing it like a first-person shooter. And unless they were to change the feel of the game, I'm not saying it couldn't work.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, it wouldn't feel like PUBG, and it wouldn't feel like Fortnite. It would just feel like Battlefield, but in a BR type way, which could be cool. I mean, you never know. I think I would resonate to that pretty well, because I do like first person shooters and how fast paced they are. But it's
and I think Battlefield is a better pace of a shooter than PUBG is.
Yeah.
Like it's still arcade simulation, obviously, head more towards arcade than anything. But it's obviously Battlefield controls really well. They've got that formula down pat. And so in that regards, I think it has the edge. But I think that's actually one of my bigger problems with PUBG right now, is just the pacing is terrible. Not necessarily that you can run for a long time and not run across another person. I don't really have a major problem with that. But just the actual, when you're in combat, I feel like you're either going at 2 kilometers an hour or 2,000 kilometers an hour, and there's no kind of middle ground there. And Battlefield's always kind of occupied a really good middle ground, where Call of Duty went for like borderline Unreal Tournament level fucking speed at some point, and Battlefield kind of went in the other direction. I think that it would be a fitting pace for Battle Royale, for sure. I actually had the similar issues with Fortnite, where the opening of Fortnite is Unreal Tournament, and then the end of Fortnite is like Minecraft, where everyone's building, you know, you get to the final crowd and everyone's building fortresses that, you know, fucking King Arthur would be proud of. But at the beginning, everyone's just, God, fuck, find me a scar or a shotgun so I can kill 46 people like as fast as humanly possible. And so there's like a really odd pacing there. So I would like to see, whoever does it, I would like to see the third major entrant, if it ever happens, to figure out the pacing better. Because I think the pacing is probably my biggest concern, not just with individual games, but the genre in general. I know I really like this genre. Like, I actually get a lot of fun out of it. I just now want to see it get refined.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Rockstar do it. I'd love to see a Grand Theft Auto BR. The reason why is because it still feels arcadey enough. It isn't quite a sim. Well, it wouldn't be a sim at all, but it wouldn't be as cartoony as, say, Fortnite is. I think it would be like sort of it definitely tipping the scale towards Fortnite more than anything. But the infrastructure would be really cool, and they have that name to really get behind it and kind of shoot it into stardom. Like, you imagine Rockstar just came out and said, we've got a BR coming, the fucking world would go nuts. If Battlefield came out and said, we got a BR coming, they go, you're a fucking cop-out. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, I don't want to see this. Like, give us Bad Company
it's like
7.
It's almost like it's too easy.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? But if Rockstar did it, everybody would be excited. Or can you imagine, you know, a Red Dead BR in the Wild Wild West? I mean, how cool would that be? You know, it would, with older guns and draws and things, and riding horses instead of cars. And I mean, I think that would be very, very cool if they did something like that. But you never know. But as of right now, PUBG and Fortnite crushing it, and PUBG will only get bigger once it goes wide. I mean, it'll be a 5 million concurrent game at some point. I think it will peak at 5 million concurrent at some day, and it will be impressive to see.
I think Xbox is the thing that will make and break that concurrent number. For sure. I still stand at the fact right now, but I'm going to be completely honest. I like PUBG. I also hate PUBG. So, like, and I've played a lot of PUBG in the last few weeks, and it's somehow gotten worse. Like, it's not gotten better. It's somehow
because you're playing
gotten
more.
worse.
It's because you're playing more, and
no, some new bugs have come up.
Oh.
For example, here's a good one. Level 3 gear, for example, has the oddity of many bullets bypassing it entirely and ignoring armor. So you'll be level 3'd, and then you get tagged by a bullet in the head, and it does 90% of your life on
so
one
you're
bullet with a
saying
level 3
you
helmet.
should just stick with level 2.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's like your best bet.
You've got a better chance.
But the problem is it doesn't always happen. So it's like a gamble.
RNG.
It's like, do I put it on or do I not put it on? It's just and there's the desync has gotten worse. But I think the most ridiculous thing that's happened. I don't remember if we talked about this. No, we wouldn't have last week. But in China, where this game is obviously like a lot of games in this kind of category, do amazingly huge numbers. People are furious because the servers are terrible over there. And to make matters worse, a bug just appeared out of nowhere that they have still not fixed, where it will randomly assign people to the Asian server as a default. If you're in North America or Europe or anywhere other than Asia, it will default you to Asia. And unless you're diligent, like it can happen between games. Like, you could start in NA, and then the next game, if you're not paying attention, all of a sudden you're in Asia, and you're like, why do I have 400 ping, and every time I press...
And you're like, what? Why is everybody... And you get out, and you're like, I'm in the fucking Asian servers. What the fuck?
Exactly.
I didn't click on that.
And so that obviously adds a huge strain to the servers, because you have people that aren't even supposed to be on the servers, on the servers, and then the grimy... So fucking grimy, dude. So fucking grimy. The people paid for this game, right? Listen to this. They have, in the Chinese version, when you launch that game and you know you're on that home screen, okay? They have an ad for a VPN service to get better connections to the servers in the Asian market, and it's only
there better be a hashtag ad up there. There better be a hashtag ad up there on that screen.
It's fucking bad.
And imagine how much business they brought over to that fucking company.
You know they're working together to just make
they're getting a
way
fucking
more money.
Thick cut off the back end of that, and they're fucking milking it. That's why they're not fixing their game, because those Chinese VPN numbers are just staggering. They're just staggering.
So dirty.
Oh, you've got 2 million concurrent? Oh, now I've got 400,000 Chinese people buying up these VPNs, paying $4.99 a month. Get fucked.
Isn't that dirty?
Fucked. And they get,
Isn't that the dirtiest shit?
28.5% on the back end of that bitch.
Oh, it's bad.
And they're funneling it through a fucking Hong Kong company, and they ain't paying tax.
And people are doing it too.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course
because
they are.
You know the average ping is like between 200 and 500 milliseconds.
How can China be number one when you're shit? You open up a door and 3 seconds later it opens up. I don't care how fucking Asian you are, bro. It's just not happening.
You can only be so good.
You only can be so good.
You can only be so good.
That
but
shit will bring you down to NA level, all right? You don't want to be NA level.
Quick.
That's just like being black with a small dick. You
Dude,
don't...
have you heard about how bad, speaking of NA, have you heard how bad NA is doing in League of Legends Worlds right now?
Dude, you know what? I actually forgot League of Legends existed. I actually I couldn't care.
You forgot about it when Twitch was broken because Worlds is happening right now, and it's been broken every year for 6 years.
Twitch is
when
broken
Worlds
every day, all day. That it's to the point now where I don't notice anything, dude. They could just grab 60 subs from me, and I would just know no better. I'd just be like, you know what, whatever.
Do it right over
it
the
is
head.
what it is. It's all over, boys. It was a nice run. I don't, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's so bad.
Fuck.
It's so bad. But yeah, it's but just that quick shout out to League of Legends NA teams for sucking balls. Oh my god. People on Twitter were just blown up like this is the most embarrassed I've ever been in my life watching this. It just hurt. It's just awful. But yeah. So anyway, there you go. There's that in the book. So both of those games doing well, doing gangbusters. The genre obviously has now been cemented, and we're probably going to see more coming soon. So we'll see how that works out. Last one, and it's a quickie. I'm not even going to update the patch notes. I'm just going to blow your mind real quick. KFC, the home of the used to be Toonie Tuesdays, before they dropped that shit like a bad habit. Colonel Sanders is a playable character in WWE 2K18. Get fucking hype.
He did. I see the picture
hype.
here. He actually does look kind of dope. I'd play
Colonel
the shit out of it. He's
Sanders.
Jack.
I want to know what his special finisher is. Is it called the Colonel's secret spices? What is
the Colonel's secret spices?
Is it the 5 spice frog splash? What is it? I want to know.
Dude, KFC is desperate, man. I'm seeing that video there with Kurt Angle dressed up as
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. It is kind of funny. The Colonel. I mean, it just makes sense for WWE. Just the Colonel. It's got a twist to it. I mean, he needs to come out with a bucket, and he needs to be eating a drumstick. He needs to walk down as he's going towards the ring and just having a bucket out, just handing pieces of chicken to the audience.
Only the black people take one.
Oh. Hey, brother, one piece, bitch, and you get in the dark meat.
Can you imagine?
He only gives it to the black people.
Close attention, wait a minute. Only the black people are taking the chicken.
Be amazing.
The one white person takes the coleslaw.
Oh man, the secret recipe. That is a dope
Shout
finisher.
out to KFC coleslaw though, because back when I actually used to eat KFC, the coleslaw was delicious. So I don't know what it's like now.
You want to know a secret? I'm gonna throw you a little bit of secret at you. All right, I'm not much of a grocery guy.
All right,
but when I do get me some groceries, when I'm at the grocery store and I'm getting a meal, say I'm going to get one of those.
Which grocery
doesn't
store?
matter. It can be Sobeys, Superstore. It don't matter.
Okay.
And I'm getting one of those rotisserie chickens that you can just buy for $10, and
Costco gets it for $4.
Yeah, it's cheap. But if you go up to the deli meats and you ask for Dixie coleslaw.
I thought you were gonna say ask for dick, and I was all right.
No dick.
Where are we going?
Dixie coleslaw. It is identical to the KFC coleslaw.
No way, really?
It's identical. I've been eating it for years. Kayla brings it home all the time. So next time you're in the grocery store, ask for Dixie coleslaw. Dude, it's
oh no.
Dude, I just opened up the gateway. You're literally, you know what you're gonna do?
My life has changed.
You're gonna take a picture on your phone, you're gonna tweet it out to me, and you're gonna say, "You glorious bastard." That's what's gonna happen. And
but is it?
It's It's green. Though. It's identical.
I was gonna say, is it the green?
It's green. It's identical. This shit is fire, and it looks just like it.
That weird chemical ass green that doesn't even look appetizing, but your brain just knows what it tastes like, and you want it anyway.
It's called Dixie coleslaw. Look at this shit, bro. Look, right here.
Oh,
right here in the chat.
Oh,
is right there. It actually looks better than that. I don't know what the fuck that is.
But I got a follow-up question to you though. Have you found where they source the fucking macaroni salad?
No.
Oh, God.
No, I have not found the macaroni salad. But the Dixie coleslaw I fuck with, dude. Dude, when I'm at the grocery store, you just get a small one. It comes in a plastic container, and they just have it in a big fucking bucket, man. They scoop it in there. Dude, I'll eat, there'll be a container about twice the size of this, and I'll just eat coleslaw. I'll just eat the Dixie coleslaw. Yeah. Fuck everything else. I just come home with it. It only costs $1.30 for a small pack, and you just eat the whole thing. It tastes so good, man. It's like a vinegar-based coleslaw. It tastes just like KFC. Identical. You'll never go to KFC again. I don't go to KFC anymore. I go to Superstore.
It's so good.
It's fire.
Oh,
Dixie coleslaw.
You know what I need? You know what I need? As good as the rotisserie chicken is at Costco, and it is fire. Those rotisserie chickens, mostly because they're 15-pound chickens for $5. It doesn't even make sense. They can't possibly be making money on those chickens. I need fried fucking chicken at Costco.
I love me some fried chicken.
I need them to figure out how to make that some money for them so that I can go and buy what will probably be the greatest fried chicken on earth. Because I don't know of a thing Costco themselves produces or sources that isn't better than damn near everything else that I can buy at another grocery store.
Costco is just one of the best things ever created, and there's just no... The only shitty part about going to Costco is waiting in lines. That's it. That's the only shitty thing.
And there are times of the day you can go there, you don't wait at all.
Well, then there you go. Then crisis averted. I mean, you could go there.
You don't want to go there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you're going to get fucked up.
I remember one Christmas, I went to Costco, and it was like a week before Christmas, and it was a fucking gong show in there.
Oh, yeah.
But I got my entire Christmas shopping done in Costco. I bought a fucking TV. I got my mom a watch. I fucking bought Dad some tools. I got my grocery shit done. I got it all in bulk. I went splits with one of my buddies, so we got fucking 50 tubs of ketchup for like $4 a pop. I got all my supplements.
But did you
got my
buy...
omega-3s in a big fucking huge container. I mean, it was the show.
But did you buy a 73-pound pumpkin pie
No, I hate
for 16 cents?
I hate pumpkin. I hate everything pumpkin.
That is highly unfortunate because Costco makes some of the most incredible pumpkin pie for the least amount of money. It's just like the chickens, they're lost leaders. Like they're making $0. They're probably actually true to the name, losing money on those items. They're putting it out the door for less than it costs. I can't buy that much canned pumpkin for the amount of money. No, just unprocessed canned pumpkin. For the amount of money, I buy a whole baked-ass fucking pumpkin pie. And they know it's fire. You go there during Thanksgiving weekend, like if you were there before this Thanksgiving weekend, they will have flats just stacked like 10 pies tall. And they go through it, and then you see like, you know, that lifer that works at Costco because you make 50 grand a year fucking being a cashier at Costco, pulling out another fucking flat of pumpkin pies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Dude, people that work at Costco love it, man. It's like it's
you work long hours, but you make sick money and you get good benefits apparently.
Yep, it's a union job, I do believe, right? I think it's all
I think
it's all unionized, but anyway, even if it isn't, I know they do get ridiculous benefits cuz my cousin works there, and when she started at like $15 an hour, and now she's up to like 18 something. And and the other thing is, I go to Costco and everybody that works there is like happier than a pig in shit. They're like, "Hey, welcome to Costco."
Yeah.
Come on in. The world is yours. Did you bring your credit card? No, don't worry. You can get an Amex right over there. Welcome to Costco. They're just happy as fuck. They're getting paid bank. They're getting everything on the cheap. They're chilling. They don't give a fuck. They're in no type of rush. It's just, it is what it is.
Can I give a shout out to the restaurant at Costco for the sausages and the poutines and shit that you can get there? And before I was lactose intolerant, some of the best soft serve ice cream I've ever had in my life.
You can get the ones with the 2 different flavors.
I need to stop talking about this food. I'm gonna go like buy like this friggin' like industrial sized fucking package of that coleslaw. Get back. Take up a whole shelf in my fridge. Costco. Well, this would normally be the part where we used to have an ad and stuff, but instead we're just going to verbally tell you to go the fuck to patreon.com/technicalalpha.
Throw your money at
help
the wall.
Help support this this wonderful podcast where you too can listen to us reminisce about how delicious random Costco items are. Because where else can you hear about people talk about how delicious Costco stuff is? I mean, why? I mean, this is a video game podcast. We're talking about Costco.
It's a LAGTV podcast, man. I'll talk about
the system.
I'll talk about, I don't give a shit. I'll talk about Costco.
Get on board.
I'll talk about, I don't know, anything.
Costco, hit me up with that collab.
Please
hit me up with a premium membership for free.
That's all. That's all we want. It's just free membership.
That's all we want.
I'm not even asking for a paycheck.
Then I'm saving money the rest of the year just buying shit at Costco.
Hook up, Costco.
Hook us up. Costco, hashtag ad. Buy your pumpkin fucking pies and rotisserie chickens. Live there for the rest of your life. Just go in, get a premium membership, and then just eat samples. You'll never go hungry. You might get tired of eating the same Dorito every day of the week, but you're never going to go hungry. But yeah, go to patreon.com/technicalalpha. We've had unbelievable support from this relatively small podcast, to be completely, we're not huge. We're not small, but we're like a Costco small. It's still bigger than the small that you get at every other grocery chain, but it's not the biggest. It's not the best that they've got on hand.
We're just a regular soft drink,
That's all. Yeah,
we're just
that's
a regular ass soft drink. There ain't nothing special about it, but we getting
regular when they introduced the supersized.
Yes,
that's what we are.
Yeah.
Still enough to basically
We don't need 2 liters
hydrate
of pop. We just don't
an
need
entire
2 liters.
yeah, just an entire family.
Yeah.
By itself. Where the fuck am I going with this?
I don't know.
Also, just come over here, watch the live show, twitch.tv/technicalalpha. Hit us up on twitter.com/techalphacast or something. Really, soon, the website's done, dude. Have you seen the website yet? Have you gone on my Discord and check it out?
I have not seen it because I want to see it in all its glory. When it comes up, I want to go on there in the first time, and I just want to be blown away.
Let me tell you a little something about this guy called Nicky. He's a fucking legend. He single-handedly did it all. I gave him the concept, and he said, okay, and then he went away and he did it in his free time. It looks identical to my concept, and it just runs like butter. There's even a button there that allows you to play, like, podcasts. People like to listen to it at, like, 1.5 times speed and shit. We've got that in there. We got download buttons. We got every single podcast. You can just click through and just quickly select whichever episode you want to watch, all there.
Someone's getting free
Everything's
merch.
there.
Someone's getting
Oh, he is. Oh, he's absolutely
Somebody's
getting
free merch.
Which is really, like, not even close to how much the work that he just did.
It's not even close. We'll get him a sweater when we get one.
I'm going to buy him a Costco premium membership. Oh, my goodness. Movies. Movies. And TV and everything else, basically, is what we're going to talk about right now. I didn't sleep enough last night, if you can tell.
I had 4 hours, bro. I was up till 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, the guys out back with the demo, they're actually making up work now. They're creating work. They're like, half of their morning is, all right, guys, what are we going to do to look busy today? Somebody said, fuck it. Take both backhoes and just scrape the ground. I'm not fucking with you. They've been out back just scraping the ground, making it look nice. That's what they've been doing for 2 days.
It's like, look like a pack of Negroes out in a fucking cotton field, just
just looking for it.
Oh, is that massa? Look like you're doing something.
Like, I looked out my window and no joke, I'm watching a backhoe in one area. He's not even moving, and he's just like caressing the dirt. There's nothing there.
They're milking the union job, man. Can you?
Oh God,
they're milking it, bro.
dude.
I used to be in that shit. I used to do the same things, man. When we were working on the theater out in Dartmouth Crossing, and we were building the theater, there was one day in particular where, like, the foreman that was on the job, he would tell, like, there was trailers outside, and we would have, like, these meetings once a week, and we'd go over, like, safety things, like if people were doing some dumb shit or whatever the case may be. And he legitimately told everybody, he said, guys, winter is coming, all right? Like, literally,
unemployment is around the corner.
That's literally, and this was long before Game of Thrones. Okay, this was long before Game of Thrones. He wasn't saying it to be funny, or, like, you know, an old guy being hip, telling the young guys, I watch Game of Thrones. He said, guys, winter's coming, all right? And work is going to be scarce. So you need to make this, you need to make this go as long as possible. Essentially, he was pretty much telling us, stop working so hard. Because he couldn't tell us that, like, as in, you guys are working too fast, but he was basically saying, milk this, please. So for that entire week, there were these big fucking, like, big tubes almost. I don't know what they were using them for. I don't know if they put them underground for piping, or I don't know what it was for. But there was me and another young guy, we're relatively the same age, and we could easily pick up one of these pipes ourselves and put one over the shoulder and carry it. But what we would do, the two of us, we'd grab one, and then he'd take one end, I'd take the other, and we would just slowly walk from one end of the theater to the other end. We would put it down. We would go back on the other side. We'd grab another one. We'd bring it over, and then we'd put it down, and we'd pick it up, and we would take it back over there. And the whole fucking time, all we did is I had these little tiny speakers, and we had music hooked up to my MP3 player, and we would be listening to music and just shooting the shit, looking busy. And our bosses never said anything, dude. We walked back and forth with the same, like, 10 pipes all day for a week. Every single day, I was coming home with a $100 paycheck, and we were just walking back and forth with the with the same pipes, just looking like a bunch of fucking dumbasses, and nobody said shit. It was perfect.
It's so good, and I know it's what they're doing. I'm looking 100%. Out there going, somebody's like, this is a union job, and winter's coming, and you are milking the ever-loving fuck at every last second that you can. Oh my God, 100%. It's bad.
I mean, how long does it take down a fucking spot behind your house? It's not a...
When you only send 3 people, it takes a while.
And they're probably getting a couple $100,000 for the job, and they're just sitting there. They're just sitting there, just doing fuck all. They're taking down a wall a day. That's it. They're taking down a wall a day.
Oh, it was bad. That's what they were doing. It was like a wall in an entire day.
Then they're taking all the fucking copper and scrap over to the recycling, and they're double dipping. These guys ain't dumb.
So
and they're getting paid
bad.
under the table. Let's go.
Yeah, it was rough. So my sleep will be erratic for a while yet. I'm sure they're just gonna start planting flowers or some fucking stupid shit soon. We just get the annuals in before the frost hits.
Yep.
Get them in the ground. So anyway, TVs and movies. That's the thing that we were and things like that. That's what we were supposed to talk about. Hey Jeff, do you remember way back in like late 90s, like 98 or some shit, Mulan came out, and men were being made as swift as a coursing river.
Yeah.
And McDonald's came out with this limited time Szechuan sauce. Do you remember the Szechuan sauce?
Sounds familiar. Let me Google this real quick.
You're gonna get a whole lot of punched in the face with crazy when you Google Szechuan sauce right now. Let me tell you this right now.
Okay.
Have you not heard about this?
I'm seeing Rick and Morty. No.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
You've not seen anything about this?
No.
Oh. Click the link I have in the Technical Alpha Topics thing, and just give that a little read over while I also read back to you basically what's happened. Okay.
Okay,
yes.
okay. I saw this tweet with the guy that stood up on the counter in McDonald's and was like, he was making a bunch of weird noises and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I saw that.
All right, so that's just a little tiny fraction of what went down. So this is what happened. Rick and Morty, basically, have you ever seen the show before?
Only when Major was here. He was watching it, and I caught like maybe 10 minutes of an episode or something.
Yeah, it's not my thing, but it's,
it looked like Futurama meets like I don't know.
It's kind of it's a parody Back to the Future social commentary thing where like the two characters represent two sides of the of things. Like you've got a dude that represents the fact that though this person has everything, he's absolutely fucking like depressed about everything all the time. He doesn't give a fuck, and then the other character represents the other side. Anyway, it's a comedy. It's a funny show for the most part. So they referenced at one point, or they had an episode in which the Szechuan sauce was part of the show in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And so the Rick and Morty fandom were kind of like all hype about this Szechuan sauce. McDonald's, ear to the ground, finds out about this, says, okay, we're going to make this about Rick and Morty's thing and get all the way up to the edge without having to actually involve Rick and Morty and just milk this for all it's fucking worth. So McDonald's says, limited time, we're bringing back, and I mean limited, we're bringing back the Szechuan sauce. And the Rick and Morty fandom collectively lost their fucking minds.
So in the show, they brought back the sauce?
Well, in the show, like, he just got it or something. I don't know, I never saw the episode, but the show referenced the sauce in some way, shape, or form.
And then McDonald's came out with the sauce again?
Yes, just recently. Ooh. Super, like last week, super limited. I mean, like 20 to 30 packets per store.
Oh.
Limited.
Okay.
All right? People start lining up like 2 o'clock in the morning to get a fucking packet of Szechuan sauce. All right? All over the country in America. Everyone's like, it's fucking crazy, dude. People are losing their shit over it. Everyone's quoting their Rick and Morty shit. Neckbeards are out in full force, fucking getting their shit on. Well, desperate for this Szechuan sauce. They don't even know if they like the sauce. They just want to get the sauce.
They just want the sauce.
All right? So Oh, right, yeah, and McDonald's first sent the show creator the sauce. So it was like, they got so close, like, it was as much nudge, nudge, wink, wink, we know what we're doing, but we're not going to legally involve you, so we don't have to pay you any money for this, as possible. Alright. Sauce day comes, the saucening, we'll call it, the fucking saucening happens. People get inside, there's only like 20, 30 fucking packets of these things. Employees are getting reamed. Like, just, people are legitimately angry over not getting a packet of fucking Szechuan sauce. People are getting salty. I'm pretty sure I read somebody got stabbed over a package of fucking Szechuan sauce. I also saw that somebody traded an old Volkswagen for a packet of Szechuan sauce. Dude. There are stories about this.
People are sucking dick for sauce, pretty much.
Fucking anything. There was something on eBay for like hundreds of dollars for Szechuan sauce.
And it probably sold.
And it was selling. It's fucking nuts. And the sauce wasn't even that good. People were doing like taste tests, like, this tastes like shit. But people wanted this packet of fucking sauce. Oh, one sold for $15,000, $17,000. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
For a packet of Szechuan sauce. And so all these like videos started coming up of people losing their mind, chanting, "We want sauce, we want sauce," and just fucking losing it. And like the video you saw, the dude jumping up on the fucking counter in like a fit of like, no offense, autistic rage, and just fucking like losing his shit and running outside the store like he was from Naruto with his hands behind his back and shit. Just a gong show. And I'm watching this going, people don't get this fucking actively involved in like fucking politics.
Nope.
We got people out here more angry about this than we do about like racism and politics and fucking all this more important shit. But goddamn, McDonald's bring back 30-pack Szechuan sauce to your local McDonald's. Bitches are getting knifed.
People care about their Rick and Morty, man. They love their Rick and Morty.
Oh my god. It's so bad. So then anyway, it all blows up. And you can guess what happens next. McDonald's comes up. First of all, Rick and Morty's creators come out and say, guys, just a heads up. We had nothing to do with this campaign. Zero. We didn't know it was being done. We were never contacted. We weren't involved. And so, sorry you didn't get your sauce, but this isn't us. And that was the fucked up part about this, is that it was so closely tied that people just knew what McDonald's were doing and probably assumed that Rick and Morty was actually involved in this shit when they weren't. And so McDonald's got all the benefit, some kickback. Rick and Morty got zero benefit and just fucking shreked. So McDonald's not long after comes back and says, and hints, hey guys, guess what? We're going to probably be bringing back Szechuan sauce for a longer period of time now. So whoever just bought that $15,000 pack of Szechuan sauce,
fucked. It's almost like the guy that spends $500 on his SNES Mini, and Nintendo finally says, "Hey, we're bringing him back next week."
Yep.
You're going,
I just got fucking wrecked. It's nuts.
Wow.
Oh, it's just nuts. But it was but there was some serious irony. I mean, people were writing like thought pieces on this because it was the irony of the show's main character, basically embodying the fact of somebody that had absolutely everything and was still unhappy, and then ironically, these people going out and like shivving people for a fucking pack of Szechuan sauce at McDonald's. I can't get my head around that. America is fucked up. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus.
In the name of
Szechuan
Jesus.
sauce from McDonald's. It's not even good Szechuan sauce.
I still don't know what Szechuan sauce is, but it's...
Szechuan is a province in China, and so it's a sauce based on, like, it's not something you would find in Szechuan.
Is it like
but
a
it's
soy
a spicy
sauce?
Or is it? It's a spicy sauce.
So it's like that red sauce that we have in grocery stores that everybody likes.
I mean, kind of. It's a different kind of heat entirely, but the same, similar idea.
Okay.
Ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's some good sauce, though. All right, what's next?
that was just my whole timeline filled with that crap all week. Hey, here's another goodie. Harvey Weinstein likes to touch people inappropriately.
Yeah.
I'm calling him Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey, grab her right by the pussy.
Shit.
So, yeah, so he does, unfortunately, like to, I'm going to put in the topic text here, grab her right by the pussy.
Yeah, this guy, he's fucked up. He fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, this guy, for those who don't know, this guy, is involved in a lot of the stuff that you've probably watched for quite some time.
Yeah, he's basically, it was
him and his brother had the Weinstein company.
So yeah, so he is the guy that is sort of the godfather of Oscars. He is the Oscar bait god, and was for a long time. He's been kind of on a bit of a downswing, and now he's, you know, he got axed from his own company. But he was the guy that would be behind pretty much every big Oscar buzz. If Harvey Weinstein his name was on an Oscar movie, it was almost like the Oscars kind of gave him a level of like prestige sort of thing. It was automatically, if you're part of his group, they were really looking to give you an Oscar, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
So
exactly.
he was that guy, and he got somebody came out and said, hey, you know, he sexually harassed me or whatever. I don't know how she put it. And then others came out. Angelina Jolie came out. Another actress came out, and apparently for many, many years, this guy has always been like that dude in Hollywood that would basically sleep with actresses and come on to.
You want an Oscar? Blow me.
Pretty much. And he would forcefully go on to women and things like that at parties or whatever, allegedly. And now obviously they wouldn't say anything because he has so much power in Hollywood that
it'd be suicide.
Your career would be done, right? So
yeah.
Everybody just kind of kept it quiet. Now people are all coming out, and there's even actually speaking of cartoons, there's a video here that I'll post in chat for the ones that want to see it, of Seth MacFarlane calling out Harvey Weinstein back in 2013 when they were talking about the best actress or best supporting actress for the Oscars. And he made the joke at the end, and he said, fortunately for all these women, Harvey Weinstein wouldn't be attracted to you or something like that. He made one of these jokes.
Oh.
And apparently, like, in Hollywood, he was known not only by the women, but people around, and he also
the men, anyone they worked with.
He also structured his company, and now he's fighting with them, that he actually couldn't be fired for sexual harassment. That there's a clause that if he does sexual harassment or any type of like
that can't
behavior that isn't that they don't like, then he would be fined. So the first fine would be $250, second offense would be $500,000, third offense I think is $750, and then the next one is $1 million, and $1 million after for every single one after that. So he actually put it in his own company that if he...
Do I have $1 million if I want to grab Scarlett Johansson, just grab some titties?
Pretty much. Like he would
I can afford
he
that.
would just pay he would just pay them off, essentially. So like the guy, it's all coming out now, and people have always poked fun at it and kind of talked about it and was quiet about it. And now that one person came out and said it and it hit media, now everybody's coming out and saying, oh yeah, he's a fucking, because, you know, once one person does it, it's now the cool thing to come out and, well, you've got so much courage, and now everybody's coming out and wanting to, you know, share the story, which they should to begin with.
Yeah. I guess the idea is if only one person did it, they're going to get crucified, but if you all do it at the same time.
Exactly. Then, you know, that one person isn't going to take the fall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, people rallying behind them, so yeah, crazy, man. Crazy.
So I guess the thing that for me here, so one, you know, obviously he said he's removed from his own company. He's no longer going to be part of basically any movie that he was on here, including one that we talked about a couple weeks ago, and not Ender's Game, Artemis Fowl, that whole thing. He's out of that. bag and probably several other projects. But the thing for me here is, and there's several like male actors that came out that has worked with him several times throughout the years, and everyone's obviously at the same time distancing themselves as far as possible from Weinstein here because they don't want to be related to whatever the shit is going on here. But I think the fact of the matter is, especially the guys, it would be a hard case for me to hear that they weren't aware of or didn't likely physically fucking see this shit happen.
Oh, they definitely did.
And some of the guys wouldn't even put it past it because it's Hollywood, and Hollywood's got some weird sexual shit that happens in Hollywood. They were probably doing it too.
Oh, 100%. Like, what's his face came out and talked about it. Big black guy.
Ben Affleck?
No, big black guy. Cheeseburger Eddie. Fucking Terry Crews. So he came out and said, he was sexually assaulted and abused in the system as well. And of course, you're too afraid to say something because you're a big black guy. You're literally done. You're axed. So it happens all the time. And I think it was either Brad Pitt or another actor. He came out and he was saying he was surprised or something like that. He was kind of playing dumb, and then somebody, I think an ex of his, came out and said, it was either Brad or somebody else. Like, I don't know who it was, but it was some Hollywood actor, and his ex came out and said, "Bullshit! You knew exactly what he's doing. I told you about it, and in fact, it might even have been
no, it was Affleck.
It was Affleck. That's right. That was Affleck.
And
You're
it
right.
was Affleck, and it was
You're right. It was Ben
and
Affleck.
It was another girl.
Yeah,
and she got banned from Twitter for like 72 hours or something.
That's right.
Because she called Affleck back out on it.
Yep.
And said, "You know damn well."
Yep.
I mean, in slightly more aggressive terms. Because it happened to me, and I was still forced to go to this thing afterwards.
Yep.
So stop acting like you don't know. In Affleck's statement, he didn't even mention Weinstein's name.
No, of course.
Like he wouldn't even bring it up. Like it's just such a pussy.
Well, dude,
wouldn't even say his name.
He's got Justice League coming out around a corner. The last thing he wants to do is be, in some kind of media
for doxing. Sorry, one of her tweets had a phone number in it. That's right. One of her tweets had a phone number in it.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, he's obviously not going to put himself in that whirlwind because it'll cost him too much, right? So he's gonna play dumb, but they all know about it. Everybody in Hollywood knows about it. More and more people are coming out, so it's interesting to see what happens. Harvey said he was gonna go to rehab or something, or I don't know what the fuck, but he's all kinds of fucked up, and he's like a creepy old guy too, like just that stereotypical old,
he looks like,
overweight,
like
weird, like he almost looks like a fucking
enjoys alcohol too much.
Yeah, he reminds me of that actor. He looks like Jack Nicholson. He looks like Jack Nicholson, like just a little heavier, just heavier.
Yeah,
he just looks like that kind of crazy, like behind closed doors. I don't know. It seems like he does low key look like somebody who would totally be doing that shit. Oh, 100%. He looks like a racist too. He just seems like
let's be straight. I hate
the stereotype, but he just looks like a fucking...
this motherfucker. Let's be honest here. This motherfucker had clauses in his contract to stop him from being removed from the company. For the exact thing that he is getting nailed for now. I mean, he did it because he knew he was doing it and would continue to do it and do it as long as he got away with it. And the first time offense was only going to be 250 G's, which to him is basically nothing.
Literally nothing.
And just, it's crazy.
Yep.
But I mean, here's my hope is that this leads to more of this shit in Hollywood getting brought to the forefront, because this has been a thing that's been going on, I mean, since Hollywood was a thing. And it's not really gotten a hell of a lot better, and they've done a damn good job of keeping that shit on the low for a very long time.
Well, but there's just a lot of money and power involved, right? And everybody has everybody in each other's pockets. I mean, there's so many secrets and so many shady things that happen in Hollywood that, it's you just don't fuck with the system, right? It's like the Illuminati. It's the Hollywood Illuminati. And you do something about it, and you are out. You're gone. You're never getting a job again. So rip your dreams.
In a slightly lighter note, apparently they are hoping that if Pacific Rim 2 does well, and I would imagine it likely will, that they're hoping to turn the Pacific Rim universe into a cinematic universe, kind of like Marvel or DC or whatever. They are even talking about possibly doing an animated side, like an anime type deal, which I think that would lend itself really well to that kind of thing. And I guess it just kind of all hinges on how well this next movie does. But I mean, John Boyega's starring in this next one, is he not?
Yep. Yeah, he's one of the leads.
So that plus the fact that I think the first one did pretty well in theaters, didn't it?
It did really well overseas. It was a success, right? They wouldn't have made another one if it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like
it wasn't a billion-dollar movie, but it did well.
It wasn't a massive film, but it did. It held its own, and it warranted another one. So, yeah, and I like the franchise, so I'm excited for it.
I would love to see it because I mean, in a universe like that, then it gives you a lot more. I mean, they crammed a lot or tried to cram as much into a robot movie as possible for the lore of what was going on in the world at the time and what happened before. So being able to, if it has some success, extend it into an expanded universe, like we've seen with these other franchises, I think it would hold up personally, and I'd like to see it. I'd watch that shit. I'd be on that.
Yeah, and if they want to do like, I think they want to do like big monsters and things like that. So I'm sure there'll be some really cool shit that they could do with it. It's way better than Transformers, right? It's now the like the Transformers that we deserve.
Yeah,
you know, and so for that,
we're not getting because that idiot is at the helm.
It's Michael Bay. So no, that's cool.
Yeah. So there you go. I want to throw that in there just because shout-outs to Pacific Rim for still being a phenomenal thing to test any of your sound equipment with. I'm sure Pacific Rim 2 will probably be even better because everyone will be using it to test their Dolby Atmos systems that they're cramming into their tiny-ass living room with up-firing speakers and shit that you won't hear a damn difference over. Oh, here's a goodie. Sylvester Stallone looked at that Creed movie and said, you know what, I could probably do that better. And so this time around for Creed 2, he's taking the helm in the director's chair again.
That's awesome.
And apparently, they're bringing back also Dolph Lundgren, who is ageless, that son of a bitch. He's still ripped out of his mind. And he's coming back apparently to take up his Ivan Drago role again. And rumor is he might be the dude that Creed's fighting.
I don't know about that. Maybe it's like trainer versus trainer, where he'll train his opponent.
Dude, Lundgren put out this if you click on that link, I think it might be in that one. You can see there's a hyperlink in there where Lundgren posted a workout video that was referencing Creed, and he's in there fucking putting in the work, and he's got the boxing trainer, he's putting in he's punching and shit, he's giving her. I think he looks like he could still pull it off, in all honesty.
I don't know. I think maybe he'll be training a guy that it'll be like, you know, trainer versus trainer type thing.
Oh, isn't that too campy even for Rocky?
No, it's not. Rocky needs to be campy, bro. It needs to be,
I guess.
It just needs to be that way. But yeah, I mean, he's in great shape. I mean, he does not look his age at all. He's aging phenomenally, like you said. I mean,
yeah,
really well.
The dude's in great shape. Yeah. So I actually have Creed upstairs. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
Whoa, you haven't watched Creed?
Yeah, I have it upstairs. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. Gabs hasn't watched any of the Rockies. She has zero interest in Rockies. So I have to find some time to watch that on my own. But I have it upstairs.
That's what you need.
Don't say that.
That's what you need to
You're
find.
You're gonna get me in shit.
Well, fuck. I don't like watching the Rocky movies. Come on.
I mean, I can understand everything past, like, you know, Rocky what? Rocky, really.
I like them all in a way. So Creed is great, man.
They all have like their own bit, but I think Rocky 1's really the only truly amazing Rocky movie as far as watchability goes, and then the other ones had, like, you know, their little bits. But yeah, I heard Creed was great. Which is why I was interested in why he, I guess he wanted to take the helm back. Maybe he just thought he could honestly do better. I don't know. What was your take on Creed? Did it seem like it was a departure from how Stallone was handling the films before?
I loved it. It felt like almost like a reboot, but it was a continuation. It had a lot of heart in it. It was I don't want to say much because you haven't seen it, but it was unexpected things happened in the movie that I was like, whoa, they're going down this road. Okay,
a Rocky movie surprised you?
Yeah,
is that
I'm
possible?
like, okay, and Michael B. Jordan is just awesome. So it was really, really good, and the last fight was awesome. I knew they were gonna make a second one, and the movie did extremely well. So it will not disappoint you. I think it was probably the best Rocky since Rocky.
The original?
Yeah.
I heard people saying that. I heard that this was basically like since Rocky the closest thing to a really good Rocky that we've had. So yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. Creed 2. Ivan Drago's back. I'm gonna want to watch that.
Of course, it's good
for sure, 100%.
Speaking of wanting to watch that, the Jackie Chan movie comes out tomorrow.
Oh, dude, I know I need to see The Foreigner.
Yeah, I hear it's getting good reviews too. So I don't know what it is here on Rotten Tomatoes, but let me check here.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
that's because it's a Jackie Chan movie.
It's a Jackie Chan movie. But a couple of reviewers that I trust, they gave it like a B+ type rating, B+. So
I expected it to fall somewhere in there. It's not going to be some sort of
it's a dramatic movie. It isn't him bouncing around off the walls, acting funny. There is action in it apparently, but it's and Pierce Brosnan apparently kills it. He almost like steals the entire movie. Apparently, like it's apparently his best.
Have I told you how much?
In a long time.
Did I tell you how much I love Pierce Brosnan?
Multiple times. Multiple.
I think he's an underrated motherfucker that got Shrek'd by the shittiest Bond scripts in the history of Bond. I think he got cheesed hard on that shit. So I'm happy he's doing well. I think that's fantastic. I think there's a Brosnan renaissance happening. Where it's happening. He's entering the next phase of his career. He's starting to get cast in some different shit. I think we're in the Brosning.
Okay.
Right now.
All right.
Or at least I'm going to tell myself that because I'll sleep better at night. But yes, I've been stoked about The Foreigner ever since I saw the trailer. I was like, oh my god, Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan in a movie directed by the dude who did GoldenEye. Sign me the fuck up twice.
It's gonna be good.
110%.
It's gonna be good.
You know what else I want to sign up for?
Venom.
Yeah. Because now I know you like the Spider-Man movies, but for me, fuck them. Pussified bullshit. But Venom. Yes.
Yeah, Venom is a cool character too. And
Venom is one of the greatest fucking characters ever. And Carnage.
Yeah.
I want to see a Venom Carnage.
Yeah, Tom Hardy is going to be playing Venom. I love it. Tom Hardy's a great character actor. I don't know why he keeps getting picked up on movies where he's always covering his face on almost every damn
poor
movie.
Bastard.
Like everything. Fucking Bane, Venom. What's that one in the desert? Fucking somebody will say it in chat. My brain is.
Oh, you mean Mad Max?
Mad Max. I mean, you name it. The guy is covering his face.
He's not an ugly dude. He's a good-looking dude.
He's not an ugly guy, so he's getting his shit covered up all the time. Even in.
It's not like it's Gary Busey fucking playing Venom or something.
Yeah, and even in fucking Christopher Nolan's epic that he just came out. He was
19. What the war movie?
Yeah, the war movie.
Was he in that one?
Yeah, he was the fucking pilot with his face covered. It's like Jesus, man.
Tom hardly being seen.
Jeez, man, he's I don't know what's up, but yeah, it's gonna be.
I like
it's gonna
him.
be dope. Oh, I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
it's great.
And Venom is for me the only thing that even when I was a kid, Venom and Carnage were the only things that made Spider-Man interesting. That was it. Other than that, it was watching the original Spider-Man cartoon because it was so cheesy, it was funny. That was pretty much it. Everything else that's ever been done for Spider-Man has just snooze-fested me. And the fact, again, I'm going to give shout-outs to Logan and to Deadpool for opening the way for superhero-related movies to have R ratings because Venom in PG-13 would be shit.
Yeah, it'd be pretty shitty. But rated
So-
R, I mean, they could do some crazy stuff with him. Like we could actually see how like menacing he is.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good, and the CGI effects for
it'll be
Venom is
great.
gonna be. Oh,
Yeah, it'll be great.
Let's fucking go. Speaking of let's fucking go, Star Wars Episode 8 trailer came out. That was fire.
It was good, man. I'm almost salty, like, and we won't spoil anything just for those that it's just it's
No.
one of those sacred things. It's kind of like Game of Thrones.
I almost didn't watch it because I didn't for Episode 7, but I was like, for this time around, I was like, you know what? I need to see some points in
I'm
here.
so happy and so mad I watched the trailer because I feel like they gave away a lot, and not because the way they presented it, I know that they're fooling the audience. So I'm assuming it's going to be basically the opposite of
Yeah, they're
what.
pulling a fast one.
Oh, they're on multiple fronts. That's what I
Several.
believe. They're pulling a fast one for multiple things. And I love the fact I watched it because I'm so hyped for the movie. It looks great. The tone just looks so. It just looks good, man. It looks
Dude,
awesome.
I'm so jacked to see Dark Mark Hamill.
Mm.
Just him, because in the originals, the longer you went, obviously he got a little bit more serious. But Mark Hamill of today is a totally different animal
Yeah.
than Mark Hamill of 77.
He's a seasoned
It's
actor
just-
now, right?
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's gonna.
Yeah.
And Luke Skywalker is his most iconic role of all time.
I was gonna smash
he
it.
loves the material. I just can't wait, man. I just can't fucking wait. It looks so good. The music looks good. The cinematography looks great. The action looks all there. It looks so fucking good. I'm just ready. I already bought my tickets. I bought my tickets.
I couldn't get any,
Oh,
but
rip your
I'm not
dreams.
that worried about it because it's going to be in the theater for about 5 years, so I'm not all that concerned.
Oh, you're gonna get spoiled the fuck. I'm like,
No.
I gotta get in there right away because dude, when Han Solo died, everybody came in chat. I had to stay away from the computer because I didn't get to see it until the Friday, and I wanted to go Thursday
Yeah.
night. So I turned off the stream early on Thursday, and I didn't touch Twitter, no nothing, nada. And then the moment I come back to the stream, assholes on Twitch were coming in going, Han Solo dies. Han Solo dies. Han Solo dies. People are gonna spoil it. That's why I needed to.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's why I needed to get there, and on opening day, and just and yeah, spoiler: Han Solo dies.
I will 100% without question be rocking sub only mode.
Yes.
It won't leave.
Yeah.
When I'm not streaming, it's still going to be on sub only mode. Everything whispers will be turned off. Shout outs to Better Twitch TV.
Mm.
Everything will be full mute.
Yep.
I won't be on Twitter. I won't be on Facebook. I'll just be in full friggin' white noise mode until I get to see it. But yeah, I didn't get the pre-sale in, but it is what it is. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so there you go. Ladies and gentlemen. There is side A in the books for your listening and viewing pleasure. We are now going to take a break here on the live stream, which means for those of you at home watching on YouTube or listening in on iTunes and or like Podcast Addict and everywhere else, you might have to wait a few days. Unless you've patiently waited already and now you're binging it.
Ooh.
In which case, good on you.
Netflixing us.
Netflixed and the whole thing. But yeah, we will be back. For those of you here on stream, sit tight. It'll only be a couple minutes. For those of you at home listening in later on, thank you for listening, and we will be seeing you soon enough. And until that moment arrives for either of those groups, peace. Hey guys, if you're enjoying Technical Alpha and are interested in supporting us, do I have a solution for you? We've set up this Patreon page to help us, and you. We've got a list of options that would make a used car salesman cry that provide you with a range of goodies for your support. Head on over to patreon.com/technicalalpha to see what's up for grabs. Like fancy badges and stuff? Subscribe to us on Twitch to get access to, well, badges and stuff. Not big on subscriptions? We have a button below that allows you to directly throw money at our faces. Careful you don't take those eyes out though. We are so very fond of our eyes. Honestly though, while we like to joke about the sellout, just being a regular listener is a huge help, and we're incredibly thankful for all of your support. Technical Alpha will continue soon, so sit tight.